All right, image this. You're vibing. Along with a new acquaintance, colleague, suddenly everything looks fantastic, but then boom, they move in such shadows that you feel like you are leading in a reality program titled Regrets and Red Flags Have Been There. Same today, we're exploring methods to see the actual nature of someone, because deeds shout louder than words, and sometimes they scream, "Believe in me." This list will have you interrogating everyone, including you. Let us start and get ready, as the tea is almost ready. Hot one sees how they handle service. Workers, all right, I'm going to strike you with a truth bomb. How someone treats service providers are akin to a cheat code for awareness of their actual nature. And sure, I understand some of you are thinking, but what if they were just experiencing a horrible day? Let me inform you something. A terrible day does not provide the green signal to treat someone akin to, if anything, they are beneath you. Considerably more about your actual nature. I mean to say, service employees are out here hustling quite a bit, managing the worst of mankind for minimal pay and perhaps some tips, should we? They are fortunate in working lengthy hours, usually in lowly employment, only to pay rent, then feed their family, and subsequently someone chooses to act as god of the law of the Panna bread range. Since inception, avocado toast came out incorrect, not on one of my watches, was from a coffee shop. Shout out to my barista throughout college. There are warriors out there, let me tell you. One time, it was crazy. This lady entered. I decided on a latte using almond milk. Additional foam and a caramel drizz on top, enough basic, correct however, when I gave it to her, then stared at me like she caught me doing a crime. Said, "Light foam, do you even mother? Your 4 latte isn't the Monday, Lisa, relax." Yet, you know what caught my attention. Wasn't just how nasty she was, that her little outburst was not about the foam, it was about her wanting to feel above someone, and I just happened to be wearing apron that day that appeals to folks like that. Service providers are not equals, hence they consider them as tools in their personal drama. The worst part is that they're eager to treat someone they know not personally like dirt, only because they can, what implies they won't act in the same manner. To you, whenever the gloss fades from your friendship or news flash for a relationship, the only variation will be you. Unable to return to sender like an incorrect latte today allows me to turn this around for a second. I once had a client walk in. It was anarchy amid the Christmas frenzy. Lines, people breathing down the door. This man ordered his coffee, and my neck this person directed suddenly saw I was tense. He grinned, then said, "Take your time, you're doing fantastic work, I know what occurred." Almost shed, not because of his words precisely, but just at that moment he decided to consider me personally, not just someone offering him caffeine. This is what character seems to be, not related to being kind in simple or opportune situations. It's about being friendly even in the face of, I'll say this, you have no gain from it. Those incapable of displaying compassion for service providers are not just displaying for you. Person they are presenting to you. They believe they are, and quite honestly, their ego writes checks on their character. Cannot pay thus next time you are with someone, whether it's a buddy, a date or otherwise. Although your employer pays great attention to how they handle the server or barista. Do the delivery drivers speak kindly? Thank you. Do they honor the individual existence, or do they just yell commands? Same as they seem to be at some invisible drive-through as the tea, you can false charm you may act in front of the individuals you want to wow. But how you handle those you believe not to topic that really is your, and should the actually, they are snapping fingers, and you have your response by rolling eyes. Sincerely, I do not even waste your time. Attempting to correct it, you are not theirs. Therapist, you are not here to impart knowledge. Their simple decency helps you limit your losses, and, also remember to thank the server on your way out, which you know for dealing with. Using them, it's not just coffee. We're also serving now. justice one red flag at a period, all straight on to the next two's treatment of animals. Allow us to now discuss animals. As one's treatment of animals reflects like seeing directly into their soul, and I am aware that it is not ideal. Measure of character. Nevertheless, let's be honest. If someone shows little empathy to a creature that mostly just seeks food, belly rubbing, or a quiet area for a snooze, what does it imply about their spoiler? Nothing good. Now here comes the contentious component, but I will mention it. If someone dislikes animals, or worse, intentionally mistreats them, it's not just a taste, it raises concerns. Size of Texas. I understand not everyone wants a home bursting with animals, or to be pursued by a golden retriever each time they go for a jog. Well, but there's a variance between not having pets and throwing the cat of your neighbor off your porch as you dislike it close by. Indeed, your automobile did happen, and let me tell you, the man who did that, complete sociopath. Vibes, if you believe that's a stretch, stick with me. The key is here. Animals are innocent and not concerned. Concerning your wealth or your position, 401k, they are pure and entire. Living is mostly about survival and relationship. If someone may glance at an animal and consider it as nothing more than an annoyance or something to regulate, it's a mirror of their method of approaching the planet, devoid of empathy or understanding. No patience you think they will possess, treat you better. Spoiler, nah. I mean, let us consider some quite severe situations. Indeed, will we be serial killers? We are going. Many of them began by hurting. Animals coincidental? I do not think so. Today am I stating your friend's unintentional walks over the garden on snails? Next, Ted Bundy? Most likely not, but it does make you ponder. Not really right. I used to have a buddy let me chat. Mike always behaved very well. Cool, but one day we attended a cookout, and someone's dog persisted in visiting. Mike playfully pushed it aside with his, then he repeated it more forcefully. Laughed like the dog found it funny. Yelped everyone. You know what? Freeze. Oh, it's only a dog, Mike remarked. Relax. Just a dog, Mike, is a peak of the knowledge that you're low-key cruel. Clearly Mike and I are not friends no longer because of the dog object by itself, but that moment seemed like a neon sign declaring this man devoid of fundamental, definitely enough his actions in empathy. Other spheres began to accumulate. Moral values of the tale of human treatment of animals is seldom an isolated occurrence. It captures deeper levels of there. On the other hand, personality allows us to discuss about the decent ones, the folks that visit from their path for animals. I once dated someone who helped a stray kitten on our second date, included us strolling back from supper, and stopped in the midst of the pavement to encourage this afraid tiny kitty emerging from beneath a trash. He didn't only pass by or lament, oh pitiful, not sure. He grabbed it and carried it to a vet the following day and discovered it now to be a house. That is, character observed, treating others with compassion. Animals does not define your taste in dogs just. If you have 12 cats, you understand the worth of life regardless of its size, or minuscule it would appear to someone. Else it indicates that you may walk outside of your own wants, and concern for anything cannot return anything for you, except maybe a purr or a waving tail. And to be honest, that's very lovely. Isn't it? Hence the exam here, if you wish. To know someone's actual nature, require them all around. Animals observe their interactions, and gentle patience do they shine when they either attempt to shoo a dog away or spot one. And for the love of everything decent, if they say something like, I detest animals, don't overlook it. That's not a charming quirk. It raises questions as, if they cannot treat a creature that is pure with affection, unselfish, what remains for the rest of us? And hey, if someone saves a stray or talks for 20 minutes baby-wise to your dog, provide them extra points. They could just be a keeper, straight on to the following one, since we are just now getting began and the tea isn't getting cold. Anywhere at any time shortly, 3 of them respond to other individuals' success. Okay, right, let's explore one of the most tasteful markers of someone's real character based on their response to other. People succeed because, to be honest, it's simple for you to grin like the one landing the promotion, the ideal vacation, like the gleaming new automobile. But when it's your buddy colleague, or even that hapless chick from her high school, posting her involvement ring on Instagram to indicate the mask falls, and wow, really does it. Here's where it gets fiery. Not everyone is able to really celebrate someone else's accomplishment. Some will applaud for you in public, behind the scenes. Their eyeballs are spinning so forcefully you can hear it. And let's be straight front, who has not come across the, "Oh, excellent for you" energy faker than that of reality TV? A love triangle is causing jealousy, insecurity, and maybe even some influence from bitterness. Yikes. And before your arrival for, let me add, jealousy is natural. Everybody has experienced a little envy when the radiance of someone else helps us own life, seems a little me. But the secret is how you manage it. Do you find inspiration in it? Either let it fester or try working harder. And evolve into backhanded compliments and side-eye emojis. Allow me to share a personal narrative. Few years ago, one of my close pals got this fantastic job. Possibilities similar to dream levels of items. She greeted me with great enthusiasm, and while I was happy for her, a small voice in the back of my mind murmured, "Why not me?" Experienced yet, instead of allowing that little monster takes over, I choose. I threw her a festive supper primed to everyone who will pay attention and check to see she understood my pride for you. Understand why her prosperity did not follow. Away from mine, her triumph wasn't a defeat. Not everyone views it that way. However, I have acquaintances whose envy was obvious. When it was my chance to win once, I was elevated at work, and upon telling a colleague I considered to be friends, reaction was amazing. Must be great to have. Relationships, the girl I was in dragging 12-hour shifts when you were browsing TikTok. But yeah, let's pretend my diligence had no bearing on anything. As it allows you to experience better, here's the issue about someone's response to your achievement indicates if life seems to them like a contest or a teamwork among persons with high character. Not require you to fail, so they may feel happy about themselves. They grasp there is enough brilliance to go around. In meanwhile, those who become salted or dismissive, they are presenting to you insecurity loud and obvious. Believe me, such excitement is infectious. You do not want it appears in your circle. Here is the more profound lesson. Others' success is not a mirror reflecting your concerns. Highlight what's most important. Doable if you're kind of person who, for your pals, claps loudest when you're not just helping them. You win. Your laying a basis for your own triumph is comparable to stating to the cosmos, "I am also ready for my moment." But if you are the one casting shadow or silently wishing someone stumbles on their method to estimate the finish line, what that energy returns on every occasion. Thus, here's a small test for the next visit. Someone in your circle wins, whether it means a new employment, a major turning point, or perhaps merely a glow-up view the surrounding people. They respond, and they really contribute something. Assist or counsel, or they go silent. Make it relates to them, or minimize the achievement. If it's the latter approach, notice these are the ones likely to difficult to root for you when it's your flip. And are you really want that in your? Probably not. And hey, should you find? You shouldn't worry if you find yourself envious. Does not define you as a negative person. It creates you human. Just let that emotion pass. Utilize it as a wake-up instead of control. Ask what is lacking in your life and causing you to feel this way. Transform it into drive instead of resentment. That's the genuine power flow. since at the conclusion of the day, plenty of breezes abound to go around clapping for others' efforts on oneself. And keep in mind, another's focus does not dull your brilliance in truth. It simply makes the whole room more brilliant. Now let us go to the next manner. Individuals show their actual hues. Believe me, just becomes more delicious from these four. Show how they handle no. All right, people, get ready, because this one is about to sort some feathers. Should you really want to know someone's actual nature, see how they tackle the word no. And I am not only discussing romantic, this applies to friends as well. Colleagues, relatives, anybody. Let us be honest. Everyone likes hearing yes. It's simple, feels great. Yet that's where the actual test starts. Here's the contentious perspective: how someone responds within the limits of rejection. Or even a little argument may create or destroy your perspective on them. And let's simply state, many individuals fail this exam. Once had someone go from sweet to sour. The instant you deprived them of what they wanted, that lovely grin right now becomes a guilt trip in passive form. Sharp remarks, or worst case, a full-fledged outburst. It's like, wow, I mentioned. Let me paint. Let us not start a war. You are an image I previously knew from friendship. Someone, let us name her Sarah. Sarah was, the life of the party is usually really enjoyable, organizing visits and activities, but that Saturday, I missed her brunch. As you know, that life occurs, when I told her, she struck me with the traditional, "Oh, all right, I suppose I won't bother welcoming you next time. Excused me." Wasn't a brunch subpoena declared mistake? That event taught me something. Chill. Those incapable of managing no with grace aren't just acting theatrically. They're exposing their great respect of control over relationship. It's not about the brunch, the date, or the favor you declined. It's about their incapacity to honor limitations without defining them about them. And it is a major red flag. Flaunting in your face seems like a procession. Let us proceed. Further down here, when someone hears nothing, is a chance for them to exhibit adulthood. And respect do they embrace and act upon, on, or aim to control guilt, or compel you to have a different perspective? Because the point is that limits are not negotiable, and how someone responded to your limits go beyond that moment. It's a preview of their future. Treat you long-term. They will respect your wishes or limitations. They will persist until you. Once, while I was in a business conference, and when my supervisor allowed us call him Jeff, asked me to engage in a last-minute project, I just lacked the bandwidth I needed, for I kindly stated, I cannot handle this on right moment without sacrificing the other. Jeff disliked that response because deadlines. He groaned loudly and said something on team members, and then handed me the quiet therapy for the remainder of the week. Yeah, a matured guy, silently therapy, because I said no. True vibes of leadership, right? Nevertheless, here's what I came to see. Those who cannot manage usually see it as a personal assault, not a basic limit, and it is not your issue, theirs is. Thus, if you're bending all the time forward to evade someone's tantrums or guilt trips, guess what? You are not establishing limits. You would lighting yourself ablaze to maintain them warm and stare. Saying no is difficult. Sometimes you want not to let down folks, particularly those close to you. But here's the reality. The individuals who really appreciate you respect your no. They won't try guilt you, punish you, or try to modify your perspective. They will know that limitations are a loving deed for the relationship and yourself as well. Those who lack them are displaying for you outspoken and unambiguous about their need of control. More than connection, lets me turn the mirror right now. Have you ever been the one for a second who, unable of handling no, have while there, I requested a buddy to assist me in moving. I know the final friendship test, and upon her announcement she couldn't, I catch myself being irritated, even wounded. But then I understood her knowledge was about her, rather than about me guarding her time and energy, and rather than trip over remorse, I checked myself and honored her decision development. People find it unsettling, yet it's valuable. Hence, here is your task. Pay attention. About the responses of those close to you to know if they value it or not. Fight it. They sulk, guilt trip, or attempt to turn your arm, most essential. What would your response be when the tables are flipped because grace handled no with care? Is not just evidence of moral behavior, but also evidence of emotional development, and in this regard, earth. We need more of that. Recall a strong no develops closer bonds. Weeds filters the people seeking control, and allows space for the ones who want relationship, so say it loud, proud, and don't apologize for defending your. Now let us go to the next approach. Peace. People expose you their true selves. Things are about to level. Spicier 5, see their humor, everything okay? Let's discuss comedy or need. I include comedy because, if you wish, to find someone's actual nature you accent. And when everyone got quiet he said, well, come on, it's just a joke. It wasn't humorous. This was just nasty here. What Todd imparted to me, comedy may be a weapon, and others like Todd make use of it to cover their fears, so they may feel superior, or rather avoid from their own defects. But the instant someone labels them out, they hide behind thee. It's merely a, if your joke is defensive news flash, only shows up when it hurts someone else. You are a bully, not a commumer. Using a punchline now on the opposite side, comedy may also expose many positive aspects about someone, as someone able to make fun of themselves. Without fishing in search of sympathy, that's confidence. Someone who makes fun to uplifting link or release tension, that's emotional intelligence together with those unusual jewels, able to make a room laugh without tearing somebody down, keeps them close. These are the actual MPV models. Here is the deeper lesson that comedy provides. Two-edged sword. It may be a bridge or a weapon or a wall healer, and how someone utilizing it reveals a lot about their hearts, may provide delight, or are their bitterness hidden? Are they establishing relationship, or are they supporting? Pay close attention to division, because the jokes, people often expose the facts. Their bitterness or fear make them unable to express straightforwardly. I will be honest with you, I used, thinking I was hilarious. I could roast people in college. I was the guy who always made a snappy return, and I thought I was killing it. Then one day, a close friend gestured me away and said, "Hey, while you know you don't mean it, some of your riddles seem." At first, I was defensive and resembled, "Come on, you know I'm only fooling about." Then I understood simply because I hadn't mean to damage someone does not mean I did that discussion alter the way I now find comedy, so I strive to use it to bring people cooperating, not destroy them. So your assignment for the next time you surround someone that enjoys making jokes. Pay attention to their sort of humor, smart and inclusive, or do they depart? Someone experiencing little awkwardness or defensive, and he should also examine himself too. Your jokes either help people get ready or they gently downplay them, because comedy is more than simply entertainment value. Laugh, it's about presenting them with your who, are, and pay attention should someone claim it's only a joke. Your intuition tells you it wasn't. Trust that feeling. You are not too delicate, you are just paying for awareness, and that wraps that, guys. Formally negotiated methods of view. Someone's actual personality, and allow us be honest, some of them strike a little degree too near to home. Either in terms of behavior, someone interacts with service providers, responds to success, manages either rejection or even cracks. These little actions seem like a joke, yet they are like portal to their essence. Once you understand, what should one search for? It seems like opening a sixth feeling. You are about to begin seeing everything, and believe me, it's both a gift and a drawback. Curse now. Let's handle the elephant in the room. Nobody, and I mean none at all, is giving this a perfect 10 out of 10. Character checklist. Not me, but not you, neither even one buddy that appears like their lives is intertwined. Every one of us. Everybody slips sometimes and has those times when our egos or anxieties, they are merely really terrible days, force the finest of us to. That is okay. The objective is not to criticize. People entering oblivion is to grasp they better and maybe simply maybe to know oneself a little bit better. 2. Here's the actual lesson. Character is an ongoing project. It is not about being perfect, is about aiming to improve every day. Should you find yourself jerking at a barista because your latte not precisely 145 degrees, don't beat yourself up, simply own it, sorry, and improve. The following time, and should you see someone else continuously failing these minor tests, good that serves as your clue to choose whether they fit either in your inner circle or in your life's nosebeds. Yet here's the object. Not just rely on these indicators as a means of understanding human usage of them as a mirror. 2. Consider how I approach people while none other is observing. How do I manage? No type of energy am I coming into the world thus, if you want genuineness, respect, and compassion in the people around you, it begins with reflecting the qualities you possess yourself. Draw what you radiate. Let us radiate as well. The wonderful thing, well, right now, I know you have had tales coming on. Avoid being bashful. Drop comment down below and inform me what's the largest aha flash you have experienced while someone displayed their actual hues to you. Perhaps it was their approach of handling a waitress, or how they responded to your large win, or maybe one of them, it's merely a humorous moment we discussed. Sooner, whatever it is, I want to hear, and thus applies everyone else observing. Let's face it, we all like a good narrative, and hey, if this video captivated you, considering whether it would cause you to chuckle or grimace, even side-eye your own actions, do me a like. Such favor hit not for me, but for the method gods, so we can transmit this information widely. And should you are not now part of this wild little online niche where we are erecting here, what exactly you are doing, switch on alerts and join subscription the team, because we have much more. Speaking about trust, this is just the top of the iceberg in daily life interactions. The chaos in between everything comes from table here, and let's be honest, the globe could use a bit more integrity, a little more comedy, and a great increase of those who are not hesitant to say it as it is. So here is your last reminder. Pay attention. Regarding the little details of behavior, when they believe none is observing, that's the loudest truth you have ever encountered. And remember, you don't have to call every person. Either retain a mental scorecard or out from here. What you observe directs your decisions, who you majority of the time, trust who you allow in. Crucial, who you want to be in this world. All right, that is for today. I appreciate your investing your time with me, and as always, keep interested, decent, and keep loyal to yourself. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep being the outstanding people you are. Look forward you.